Hello AAC membership, Matt Sheck, PGA professional here. I grabbed one of our good, very well-known junior golfers, Maxwell Ford. He's going to help us with our video today. We're going to kind of use him as our model swing and kind of go over a few things. Today the main point of emphasis is how to get that turn on the backswing. As most of you guys may not know, how much you use your arms in the backswing isn't going to produce power as much as how much you can turn. Rotation is the #1 force of power, and especially as you get older and you're not as flexible as you were, the turn becomes more difficult. And that's something we're going to look at today and see how even a young guy like Maxwell that's very flexible, how he can turn and get a full 90-degree shoulder turn. And how he does it, and how I want you guys to kind of follow how he does it. So we're gonna have Maxwell set up for a shot here. Now, as Maxwell takes the club back, I want you to focus on kind of his turn. As he takes the club back, this knee is still flexed; it is not locked out. And as he's taking it back, I asked him earlier, it feels almost like he's pushing his weight a little forward so that his right hip can turn behind him. That's what I want you to go think about today. Is if Maxwell were to do an incorrect swing, is what I see sometimes with my members, and he locks that leg out and then he can't get a full shoulder turn because he can't turn his hips. Watching on the PGA Tour every now and then, you'll see a couple hyper flexible players that are able to get this full shoulder turn without any hip turn. That's not very logical for most golfers. It is okay to turn your hips to get your shoulders completely turned. Okay, so as Maxwell takes another turn, I'll go ahead and show you kind of how he does it here. Jay, if you want to move to this side. Okay, Maxwell's going to take it all the way to the top. I'm going to show you a couple things here. Okay, as we notice here, he has a full shoulder turn. 90 degrees is what we call it, 90-degree shoulder turn. And really, he has 45-degree hip turn. Now, what I normally see is somebody that doesn't turn their hips enough and wonders why they can't get a full turn. So the thing to notice here is he got hip turn, slightly flexed back knee, to get his shoulders completely turned. Now it's also good to notice that, go ahead and go back to the start. If I were to put my club right on his right hip, okay, notice how he made a little space in between that club? There's about a ball space between the club and his hips. Well, that is a pivot, and a good pivot says that the right hip actually goes behind you. Okay, if you were to take the club back, start again for me, Maxwell. And if you were to sway, go ahead and sway for me back like that, that is not a correct pivot. That is going to interrupt his turn. So a lot of times I'll see people that try to keep their knee bent and then they start to sway off the ball. That's not what we want either. We want to keep that knee kind of locked in and into a flexed position, almost feel like it forces the weight forward so the right hip can go backwards. And then he's going to get that nice ball in between. Okay, so if you think about the hips, they're actually not circular, they're oblong for most people. So if he were to make a centered turn on a centered axis, he would get a little space right here. And that is a good pivot. That will allow him to stay inside the box and still get behind the ball without swaying off of it. We're gonna go ahead and watch Maxwell hit a few here and just kind of watch how big of a turn he gets. And he also has great hip rotation with it. Very good, striped right down the middle. Good swing there, Maxwell. Sir. Let's go ahead and hit one more. I want him to pause at the top so you can really see what we're doing here. Just going to take the club back. Good. Notice the hip turn, that's the name of the video. Turn the hips so that you can get the shoulders all the way behind the ball, okay? That is the way to do it. And he's still got a little bit of flexion in this back knee, and that's gonna help him get that right hip behind him. Go ahead and hit one more for us. Could watch that all day. So that's the video today. Thank you, Maxwell Ford, for helping us out. Work on your hip rotation to make sure you can get a full shoulder turn. And we'll see you next week. Thank you for watching.